Welcome to the F2FHQ podcast. I'm your guest, Jennifer Young from Girls Like Guns Too. And along with me is Carol Salva of the Firearms Radio Network. In this podcast, we are chronicling our journeys from fat to fit. We talk about pursuing a healthy lifestyle, not only in diet, but in all areas of life.
Well, now, Jennifer, it's not so much fun when you do it perfect.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was supposed to mess it up.
No, that was great. That was perfect. That was perfect. But I'm laughing because you were like, wait, what? No, why would I read it? I'm not ready. What? I'm going to mess it all up. And of course, you did not mess it up at all. So welcome, Jennifer. I know you welcomed listeners, but welcome to our podcast.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity. I don't do this. I'm on the other side of the microphone, as I say, or I'm doing the question asking and all that. So I'm looking forward to it, though.
Me too, because we're gonna hopefully not have you become the interviewer and me talk about myself the whole time like I always do. I need to stop doing that. That's my downfall. But we're really excited for you to be here because you joined our MyFitnessPal community back in December. And girlfriend, you have been on fire. And we've been on fire partly because of some challenges and stuff you've thrown out there. Can you tell folks real quick how you found our community and just about yourself? Because I won't do you justice, even though I think it's super cool what you do out there in social media and everything. Tell folks about yourself.
Well, I'm an IT girl, so I do the IT job, and a couple years ago I got into doing YouTube stuff because of learning about firearms and starting to go down that journey, and that's how my YouTube channel started. And over the months and months, it's kind of changed and progressed. But so that's kind of how the YouTube thing got here. As far as just a little bit more about me, I mean, I haven't had years of struggling with weight. My weight really didn't start to attack me until probably in my mid-30s or early 30s. And it's progressively been a struggle and been a challenge to kind of keep that under control. So 2008 I joined Weight Watchers and did that for about 3 years. And then stopped and just watched everything balloon again. And I saw you on Nick, Practically Tactical's podcast once, and I just kind of listened a little bit at work or something, but then when you had him on your show, or no, it was the other way around, you were on his show, that's right. That was the show that got me interested. Because I'm like, okay, well, there's some changes I need to make. She seems very nice. You're not bringing forth like I'm an expert, which I like.
Thanks.
You're just a down to earth person with your own struggles, and I like that. You seemed approachable, and I know I threw some comments in that chat, and you had talked about the MyFitnessPal community, and I said, well, I'll go ahead and go. I was already part of MyFitnessPal, but I never did anything with it. So I found the group, and, well, here we are.
Golly, yeah, the rest is history, because I'm so glad that our world is part of that firearms world. And because we get to meet such cool people like you. I mean, I just think it's fantastic what you're doing for women out there. And I know you have a lot of guys on your show, because I've watched some of your shows too. It's just like, hey, girls like guns too over here. So it's wonderful. And then when I went, because like you said, you and I connected because you put some comments on that YouTube video, and then you came over and joined our community, and we have some people who they're not waiting for the next podcast to come out. Let's talk today. Let's see what's going on today. What did you do today? And so in December we were doing a challenge where we were just seeing if we could all check in with each other every single day in December and just kind of get through December better. And you came in the middle of that. But I mean, my gosh, it was so wonderful because you hung in there more than some people that started at the beginning of December. And you were like, you know what, I think I'm going to do a January challenge. I think I'm going to throw a challenge. It looks like these people throw challenges out there. And it's crazy is you're in Illinois, and your challenge was to walk 30 miles in 30 days. Never mind the fact that it's sub-zero sometimes there, and your first day out was somewhere around 7 degrees outside. That was super inspiring.
Yeah, well, the thing with me was I was really struggling with a lot of things. One of them was my weight. I saw myself hitting my peak, and I was at a point I was just going to give up and just say heck with it. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know? And
Been
that
there.
was incredibly. It just made me feel horrible to even think that, because I like to be active as much as I can be, and I wasn't. And so getting into the MyFitnessPal community and seeing all the people and what they were doing and being welcomed, which that's always a wonderful thing, is someone new into a community. It's kind of barging in and I'm Jen, and this is what I'm doing, and it's like, but everybody's been so wonderful. And I saw the challenges that, you had the December challenge, you had the water challenge. I was like, well, I can kind of do this. And that challenge was merely for me. I had no plan on anyone joining me on doing that. So when all of a sudden everybody is like, oh, I'm going to do this too, and I'm like, holy cow, this is awesome.
No, and not just people in our community, because I can name a bunch of people who started jaunting. You called it Jen's January Jaunt, which is fantastic. So now we're all jaunting here in January. We're all trying to hit the 30-mile mark. You blew past it halfway through the month. And I would really encourage people, I'm going to put links in the show notes, because you have a vlog. And so a lot of these walks or jaunts, we get to go with you, and we get to hear a little bit. You got some music in the background. My kids love watching it. And it really inspires me to get out and, do at least a mile today, do some walking. Heck, look at Jennifer, and it's like almost snowing up there. I mean, it's so, and you talk about how you feel good and you feel inspired and stuff. And so that video vlog, when I run that playlist on your YouTube channel, I just love that. That'll give me some motivation to get out and get moving. And a lot of people I see in your comment section are doing it that aren't in our community. They're in your YouTube community or your social network of friends, right?
Exactly. There's a few people that they're doing their own thing, and the purpose of that challenge again was me. And the challenge itself wasn't really the 30 miles, because I knew I could do that. The challenge was doing it in January under what I viewed as adverse weather conditions, because I live in Illinois. You just never know what it's going to be like.
Yeah,
and
I saw you almost slip and fall on the ice that one day.
Yeah.
Twice.
Because I don't pay attention sometimes. And,
no, but it is a challenge.
And I'm sitting here, with my camera, and it's,
Yeah, your GoPro is fantastic.
Yeah, I look like a fool out there with that, but I don't care,
I was going to say, who's laughing at the end of the day? I mean,
exactly.
Your progress is phenomenal. You're inspiring so many people. Let me back up before we talk about your progress and what you already had going on when you came into our community was this little chronicle of your own, Jen's Weight Loss
Mhm.
Confessionals, right?
Mhm.
That had been going on almost a year, where you had, once in a while, I think you had started out every week, and maybe, sometimes there was more time in between that, but you were chronicling too your own journey. You were telling people how much you weighed, what you did this week, and how you felt about it. But they were real short, 5 minutes. I loved it because I could watch 5 minutes and then check in next week. What's going on with Jen this week? And but you had been doing that for a while, right?
Yeah, I started that. I think it was December of 2013 is when I
Okay.
started that, and I carried it on for I would say 3 or 4 months,
Uh-huh.
and that's one thing I kind of was not. I really wasn't into it. Not I wasn't into the weight loss. There were times I wouldn't do a weigh-in, which
Mhm.
that doesn't look it didn't look good for me because it wasn't keeping me accountable, and
Mhm.
so I stopped doing it. Um,
Mm.
and
So
then I
you a
picked
big chunk of 2014 you didn't do it?
yeah, and then I picked it up again
Hang
for
on.
what I called
One
2.0.
second.
Oh,
Hang on.
okay.
I'm missing what you're saying. I had to turn something off that was about to beep. So you said, yeah, you missed a chunk of 2014, and then you picked it up again. Now what?
Yeah, I started it up again, what I called the 2.0 version, which
Good.
is basically what I'm doing now, but even that had a break in it. I think I did maybe 3 episodes of that and then kind of stopped again.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got to a point, I said, you know what, not feeling good. I have headaches. I might have stomach issues. Just some chronic things that were annoying. I wasn't feeling sick, but I was definitely not feeling good. And so I said, oh, I've got to do this again. And when I stepped on the scale and it said 210 pounds, yeah. And that's when I was almost ready. I just was like at the point, am I just going to give up? And I said, no, I
Oh.
cannot do that. And so I started it back up. And yeah, the purpose of that is just to kind of let people know what I'm doing. I try to keep them short because I know how my attention span is.
I know.
And I don't want to go for 20 minutes. I want to have a quick topic, ramble on a little bit about it, tell you what my weight is, and then wish everybody a good week. And
I think that's great because I've seen you've had topics on that vlog. Now you're more consistent with it, and it's so exciting just to hear what's been going on the last month and check in to see what happened to you that week. And you'll have things about accepting other people's diets, or trying to get more real with your food, or what you think you were doing before, or calorie counting versus not. And I love it because it's a lot like what we're doing, which is, what, there's so many things out there. I'm sorry. I question anybody that has it all figured out for everybody. This is what everybody needs to be doing. It, because everybody's so different.
right,
So I love just the discovery of a journey and people learning about themselves. That's where it's at, I feel like. And you're all about that with that vlog.
well, thank
So,
you. And I need the accountability. And that was the one thing about Weight Watchers that I liked was you had that accountability.
mhm.
Well, then I got slowly where I wasn't weighing every week, and then I was only doing it once a month, and that just doesn't work for me. So I know some people can't weigh themselves. Some people have to do it daily. For me, weekly is optimal because I
Mhm.
don't OCD about it as much, but it's just enough OCD for me.
Right, right. That accountability. Hey, we're gonna do a challenge. Did you hear that show with Anna Vicino?
Mhm.
And she wants us to walk away from the scale. And I've tried that a couple of times. And other things, I'm going to be honest, when I wasn't weighing myself, I was losing focus in a lot of areas,
Mhm.
on how much I was eating and all that. So every time I've not been OCD about weighing myself, I seem to go way awry. Like I just seem
Yeah.
to get in a hole. But I liked what she said about, using other measures. And I don't know. I'm gonna see if I feel like I have my diet pretty clean and where I want it to be, and I'm doing the same kinds of things and not, you know, there shouldn't be many surprises with the scale, but and I would much rather use my jeans or something like that.
Yes.
But unfortunately, none of them fit right now, Jen. So I can't.
I have one pair. I totally get it.
But it's right around the corner for us, Jen.
It is.
Because talk to me about your progress. Talk to me about what happened over Christmas. I mean, who gets fired up like you during December? Nobody. Everybody waits till
Well,
January.
again, the thing is, I had to try to start that process
Yeah.
at a time when I felt that I had a little bit of motivation, and I did have that from the YouTube community. And after watching, you on Nick's podcast, I'm like, okay, I've got some more. I joined the community, and the thing about me is when I get into something, I jump in
Oh,
with
good.
everything. And that has come back to haunt me many times. But I do. I get really excited, and I just want to get into it. And it's just like with the jaunt. I used to not walk when it was 40 degrees, and when it hit 40 degrees,
Too
I would quit
cold.
walking outside.
Uh-huh.
Well, it hasn't been 40 degrees yet, I don't think. you
You've been
know.
walking. 30 something is a good day for you there.
Yeah, and it's winter.
Oh, my goodness.
But
It,
yeah, and I just had to get through the holidays, and the holidays were rough anyway because I usually don't do very well during the holidays, just from a psychological and a mental state.
mhm.
But I got through them with some pretty darn good results. I'm very happy about those.
I
And then I knew when
know.
when January hit, I was just gonna go right into it. I started making changes, and I was just gonna keep making some additional changes as well as continue on the ones that I had done. I had already dropped soda. I
That's
was
huge.
trying to get off of most of the artificial sweeteners, so I had a what I felt was a very good start.
Huh?
Getting off of soda was very difficult because of aspartame.
Oh my gosh. I'm right there with you. And I mean, I went through that with the listeners and my co-host. I had a co-host before named Zach, and we had to challenge each other because we had given up sodas before, but it really was a Diet Coke aspartame type of
Hmm.
addiction for me. And it is not fun. I do not, I mean, I have empathy for anybody trying to do that. Just props. Props, because when I finally gave it up after multiple times of trying, I'm very proud to say it's about to be 2 years. But um, if I have one, Jen, I'm almost certain I'll be back in the gutter with it pretty soon thereafter.
Me too. Me too.
Me.
And I just can't go back to it.
Oh, and when did you give those up in December?
Well, I gave up. I used to drink diet years ago, and I gave that up, and I started drinking zero because
Okay.
I thought, well, it doesn't have aspartame in it. It had Splenda sucralose.
Right, right. Uh-huh.
Well, I finally looked at a bottle one time, and I like, oh, there's aspartame in this too.
Oh no.
Yeah. And so I was drinking that, and then when I quit that, I went to what I call the full leaded version of Coke,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
which of course has the high fructose corn syrup. So it's all
Yeah.
bad.
And a million calories.
Yeah,
I
and
saw your
so that was when a lot of my weight started to creep up again because I was drinking way too much. Well, I was probably drinking as much Coke as I drink water now,
Wow.
if not more. I mean, it was just
Yeah.
it was just horrible. And so weaning myself off of those, and so I quit. It's probably been almost 3 months now
That's
that I
awesome.
got off of all soda.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Like you said, it's not just, does it have a lot of calories or is aspartame good or bad or not? And who knows? There's all kinds of studies saying sucralose is no problem. I mean, whatever you want to go out there and find. But um, it's what I was not drinking. I wasn't drinking
Mhm.
any water or very minimal. Only when I couldn't find a soda. I
Yeah,
was dying of
exactly.
thirst. I had no desire to drink water. And, to be quite honest, it's still not my favorite thing, but we did those water challenges every once in a while and just challenge each other to drink 64 ounces in a day for a week and check in every day and see if you did it because we know it's hard to change to something like that. And something as simple as that is not that simple, but has huge payoff.
Absolutely.
Water. It's huge.
Absolutely.
So props again, props again. So
Well,
you
thanks.
did, yeah. So you did that, and in the middle of December, you're like, okay, now I'm gonna get even more serious. Hey,
Yeah.
wait. Space Buns is saying soda's not bad. Oh, wait, he said soda is bad.
Hey, Andrea. I love Space Buns. She's awesome.
Space Buns, I'm excited someone's commenting on our show because I'm so YouTube challenged that Jen's gonna have to tutor me because I never can see my comments. We're a podcast, we're an audio show, but we use a Google Hangout to get the audio. So maybe this will help us. So thanks for listening, Space Buns. What a cute name. Yeah, I know, soda's bad. You know what's crazy is when I quit at one point this year, somebody told me, "Oh, if you miss soda, just have carbonated water. It's just water with carbonation."
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." Well, I tasted it. It tastes like dirt or something. To me, it's gross. It's gross. It tastes just minerally. And so
Yep.
I put some of these little cute drops, those
Hmm.
Mio drops.
Hmm.
Well, that was nice until I started realizing that I was using so much, like a syrup on a snow cone kind of thing. I'm basically making my own soda. My brother-in-law
Yeah.
just told me buy a soda stream because that's what you'll save a lot of money. Just carbonate your own water, put the syrup in there, and that's what he wasn't being rude. He was just saying you'll save money that way. I was
Right.
like, oh my God, I'm making sodas and I'm drinking them, and I'm still not drinking water.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I think what I was drinking might have been a little better, but not with the amount of Kool-Aid syrup I was putting in it.
Right.
So it's all about, I mean, it's just all about getting a little bit further down the healthy road. I can't do everything. I
And
can't.
and that is exactly what um, that's exactly how I approach my eating.
Yeah,
I can't go paleo or I can't go vegan or I can't go the whole 30 or I can't go all of these what I consider plans that you're limiting so much in my
right.
opinion, and it is my opinion. So what I did was I got rid of the soda, got rid of the artificial sweeteners. That's kind of was step 1. Step
Mhm.
2 was starting to limit meat. I mean, I still eat some, but I don't cook it at home. Um, I actually use fake meats,
Oh, yeah.
which I need to wean myself off of those too, but it's a slow process.
Uh-huh. So are you
Um,
trying to go vegan or vegetarian?
I still eat fish and I still eat cheese,
Uh-huh.
and eggs. So I will never go full vegan. It's
Okay.
just again, it's too restrictive for me.
Yeah, me too.
Um, and I kind of just take a blending of certain things and kind of make it my own.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing that besides the soda is what when I did my, I think it was a couple weeks ago when I did my one vlog where I was doing food versus food. And, it's food where, it's like leaves and, there's actual food products that you recognize there versus the stuff in a box or the stuff in a
Right.
bag.
Right.
And when I was doing Weight Watchers, I highly depended on that, on the boxes, because
It
it was
was almost easier because it gave us the points right on the
absolutely,
little box. I know. I was right there with you.
absolutely. And I would get to, okay, well, I didn't eat all my points today, so I'd open a box of something and of snack bars of some kind and eat those to get my points.
Yeah.
And I look back on that, and that was just not the way to do it. So getting rid of those processed foods, or most of the processed foods, is kind of where I'm at right now.
That's
So that I'm
fantastic.
eating more of the real food, your fruits, your vegetables, and I'm a huge fruit nut. So I know that that can be an issue because it's carbs,
Well,
but it's a great thing for me. That's my snacks. That's my candy right now.
I know my daughter was saying that this morning, and she's all interested in this stuff. But she's 8, and she was asking me about a banana. But I heard you tell Dad bananas are bad, Mom, and I was like, no, I didn't say they were bad. I told him berries for him would be better than the banana because the banana has a lot of sugar.
Mhm.
But and I don't know everything there is to know. But so my daughter was like, well, should I not eat a banana? I was like, banana has nutrition. And you are 8. Eat the banana. The banana has a ton of nutrition in it. And I mean, they shouldn't be worried about macros at age 8. And
No,
so I
no.
know. So, but there is like, I mean, I know people who won't eat a carrot because it's a carby or vegetable,
Mhm.
and I get that. If you're trying to be really scientific and really hack about, just be as effective as possible. And I went through some stages of that this year where I was going to try to get optimal in my body's environment for fat burning. That's one thing. But about how you want to live your life, a carrot seems like a really crazy thing to make me fat. I don't think it's the carrot.
Exactly. I would completely agree with that. I don't look at the vegetables and the fruits and say, okay, that one's healthier than another one. Now, I don't go overboard on potatoes, but I am eating potatoes now, and I didn't for the longest time.
Yeah.
I love carrots. That's another, that to me is another, is one of those snacks that I really won't give up. I love carrots. But I also eat celery and other things that are, not carby or whatever. But again, when you're coming from someone that's eaten out of a box for years,
Right.
anything that comes out of the ground
Are
is going to
you
be healthy to
kidding?
me.
Exactly. That's huge. I think you hit the nail on the head. Your whole thing about real food versus food like products. And
Mm.
because really, with the way that things are regulated or not regulated, you have to kind of question anything you don't make yourself. I mean, a little bit. And we look at the label and we take some of it on faith, but if you're going from the standard American diet, and not that my family doesn't go through a drive-through and have some packaged products for convenience, we're just trying to do less than we used to do, because like you said, that's the biggest game. I think that's the biggest game changer, don't you think?
I would completely agree. And I used to laugh at people that would talk about how that stuff's bad and how, the artificial sweeteners basically make you eat more. And I look at it now and I'm like, oh yeah, there's no doubt about it. Because I'm noticing I don't want to eat a
Ah,
lot.
isn't that interesting? Yeah, because your body is your experiment. Your body is your lab. The lady next to you at work can't be. It has to, or whatever diet she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you found that maybe if you cut some things out, they're affecting your appetite, you think?
Yeah, I really do think that the artificial sweeteners were a trigger for me to make me, because I would sit down and eat a box of crackers,
Mm-hmm.
almost a whole box of crackers because I was drinking Cokes.
Yes, gosh, that
You
does
know,
sound good.
and if I tried to do that now, I would be sick
Yeah.
because I'm drinking water, which is filling me up, and I'm eating stuff that probably won't taste good anyway because it's just getting so far away from those sweeteners. But I just don't think I could actually do it
That's
because I don't think
fantastic.
my body will allow it.
That's great. That's great. So do tell us, Jen, how much progress have you made it's been a month or so, right? That you've gotten real serious.
Hmm.
Is that about right?
I would say, yeah, probably probably Thanksgiving would be Thanksgiving, early December. Because when I
Okay.
started, probably around Thanksgiving, but it was slow going. That was when I was at my highest. I think was before Thanksgiving. So I'd have to go
Uh-huh,
back
uh-huh.
and check the weights, but I'm pretty sure it was before Thanksgiving when I was at my highest. So
So how are things going?
I'm not unhappy. I am not unhappy at all. Um, I've had a couple of what I call the or non-scale victories, where you're not, the weight
Oops.
isn't necessarily coming off, but there are certain things that you notice, whether the clothes fit or something along those
Yeah,
lines, or just the fact that I have energy.
that's great.
Even if I don't
That's
sleep
great.
well, I have energy, and I didn't have that
Hmm.
before. I was like a slug.
Wow.
Now,
I remember.
walking 5 miles in 8-degree weather might have something to do with that too, but
It all has something to do with it, I bet you. The water, the walking, the better quality of food. I mean, I know exactly what you mean because it was so hard to get myself off the couch this fall. Um, because once you stop and you start feeling sluggish, the last thing you think you're going to be able to do is exercise, which the crazy thing is that's what gives you more energy. But you couldn't convince me of that. I was tired. I was really tired every
yep.
day.
Well, I would, and it was
So,
horrible. I just had absolutely no. I would sleep, and I wasn't sleeping well, so I maybe got 4 or 5 hours, and by 9 o'clock at work, I was just completely exhausted.
mm.
And now,
Well,
even if
that's
I
a
only
wonder.
get, even if my sleep is kind of interrupted or I don't get as much, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
exhausted at 9 o'clock. I'm not exhausted at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's because yeah, I'm not eating that stuff that's just weighing me down and
Mm-hmm.
just making me feel miserable, and not giving me good carbs, good sugars, like you're getting out of
Yeah,
carrots and that kind of stuff. So,
yeah, that's fantastic. So
and I'm
you've
not a
had some.
professional, so anyone listening to this, I know nothing about like um, the science behind losing weight or any of that stuff. I'm just a girl that's trying to do something that works for her.
Well, that's all that we do because that's why, I mean, that's why our thing on our podcast is it's just average people. And we're just trying to figure it out for ourselves. And we're not telling anybody what to do. We do kind of, if we have an expert on the show, we put show notes and links where people can go learn more about a particular protocol. But no, um, you know, it's basically just try something and see how you feel and then stick with us because you might be able to find some motivation or help motivate us like you have done and that helps, right?
Absolutely.
So I don't, and we always say we're not experts, whatever, try what you think might work for you. But what you said you had a couple of non-scale victories. I'd rather have the non-scale victories, really. I don't care what the scale says if I fit in my clothes better.
Yeah.
And you know, I, and then you've had some other kind of non-scale victories, which, like you said, the energy. But you're being modest because on Facebook, I keep seeing Jen lost 2 more pounds. Jen lost 2 more pounds. Jen lost 2 more pounds. I mean, it's not just like you lost a pound or two. You've been doing this a month or so over the holidays, over the hardest time of the year, and you're off to an amazing start.
I'm down about 15 total from my peak. So
Wow.
yeah, that's thanks. And you talk about me motivating, you guys. Well, trust me, it's I'm getting a lot more motivation than I'm giving. Um, because it's you guys, it's the people on YouTube that have followed my vlog from the start that are giving me the motivation and the accountability. I mean, you guys are holding me accountable. If I don't post something, where is it? Or if I don't lose weight, or if I don't gain weight, or if I don't post a way, why didn't you do it? You know, I post the videos on the walks because I want to prove to people that I'm doing it. And
Yes.
and it's been
Isn't that
fun.
powerful?
And I've already had a couple people tell me it's
It
like,
is.
my channel's not a gun channel anymore because all this is weight loss videos. But
It has to be
it was a
Jen because I
joke.
need
We
some
have we have
help with
fun.
my. Of course. But that's okay because that's you. And, if they don't want to watch that playlist, they
Yep.
can just tune in for the gun playlist. But I, I, I argue a lot of people are really enjoying it. I can tell from the comments on your videos. And people in our community are just super excited. That's why I had to have you on because you have been such an inspiration. you've been my biggest hero lately, because
Oh.
it's one thing, really. It's one thing, some of us have lost some weight and now we're gaining it back, and now we're trying to figure out how to maintain the weight loss, if we can get back to the weight loss, somewhere in between. But, and I do end up having people on the show that have lost 100 pounds or lost 75 pounds, and props to those people, oh my goodness. But there's tons and tons of people that out there that feel the way I did a few months ago, where I just can't get started.
Mhm.
I just cannot get started. That seems like an insurmountable, and it's overwhelming, and all the noise out there from all the gurus and everything. It's really hard to get to turn it around. And that's what it seems like you did. Like, you kind of dibble dabbled, tried this and that for a few years and this and that, but now you're at a point where, like, you know what? No more. I'm turning it around. I'm going to draw on different resources. I'm going to join people out there that will give me motivation, and it's infectious. You're inspiring a lot of people, because you're like, well, if Jen can walk in 7 degrees, I guess I can walk.
Well, and I know it's funny. I know exactly when I stopped being motivated. Because again, I started Weight Watchers in 2008, and I was doing very well with that. And in about 4 years, I think I lost a little over 40 pounds. It was awesome. In September of 2012, I went on vacation.
You know exactly when.
And I had walked about, because that was my exercise then too, was walking. I had walked about 650 miles up to that year, up to that point.
Wow.
And that was April through September, or March through September. And I went on vacation, went out to California, and ate very well. Not healthy, but I ate very well.
But that's what vacation is for, Jen.
And I did a lot of walking. I did some hikes and that. So, I mean, I had some activity. But when I came back, the weather started to get cold, and as I mentioned earlier, so I didn't get very many miles, and I probably only got about 40 more miles in. And then I quit for the winter. And then 2013, I went out and walked, I think, twice. And then that was it.
The whole year?
And then last year, in early 2014, I did the same thing. I got out maybe 2 or 3 times and then stopped.
You know what's interesting about that, and I wonder what you think. We see a lot of science that it's not about the exercise. It's about what you put in your mouth. The exercise is great, but you can't really out-exercise a bad diet. So I'm just laughing at Spacebud's comments, and I want to say something about her. She's saying, oh, yeah, blame it on the vacation, LOL. But she's just joshing, she said. But what I argue, I know that it's not about the exercise. I know that's not going to fix me eating crap all day long. But when I exercise, I feel better, and then I don't want to ruin it, so I kind of eat a little better.
Yep.
It's like I can't have one without the other. All I do is walk, and I try to strength train a couple of days a week. I don't have a trainer, so I'm just trying to do what I know how to do. But it makes a huge difference. Maybe not the calorie burn. Do you feel like the exercise is propelling your food choices?
Oh, definitely. I go out on walks, and almost every time I come back, the first thing I do is get in the freezer and get a bunch of frozen pineapple. That's always what I want when I come back from walk. I get some frozen pineapple chunks and just start eating that. I don't know what it does. It just makes me feel better. But that's kind of my after walk snack.
Yeah, your body's craving that refeed. I keep hearing people talk about how when you deplete, you need to refeed right then, and your muscles are ready for it. And who knows? Like you said, we don't know the science, but it's working.
Yeah. And you're right, it does, because you go out and you walk 2 miles, or you walk 5 miles, or as I did in 2012, you walk 14. And you're dead when you get home, but that's another story.
Oh my God.
But yeah, you don't want to just go and grab a bunch of cookies or something, because it's like, well, I'm going to waste what I just did.
And it even seems gross. Whereas if I'd have been sitting on the couch watching a marathon on Netflix all day, cookies sound pretty good.
Absolutely.
Actually, cookies always sound good. But when I come back from a walk or something like that, frozen pineapple chunks, seem like candy, like you said. I mean, they do. I don't care. I know we sound hokey, but it's true.
But
It's
again, if
feeling.
is that someone can sit and say, well, that may not be the best choice, but you know what? Again, it's food. It's
It's
something that
real food.
comes. It's something
It's
that's grown out of the ground. I
with
will
nutrients. Hey, I want to
absolutely.
say something about what Space Buns commented.
Yeah.
And rock on, girlfriend, because she's doing a cleanse this weekend.
Oh,
She's doing, she said, like a 3-day weekend cleanse. Let me see. I don't know how to get her comments here. Let me see if I can see them. But I don't know. Can you read down in the comments, Jen? Because she wrote something about here lately. She put, I got motivated by some serious digestion issues, and that's what took me to change her eating habits. I know she said before she wants to get rock hard like she used to be, and I wish I was ever rock hard. But there was one point, but it only lasted for like 2 weeks. But anyway, she says she wants to get in shape like that again, so she's starting with cleaning up her diet, and she's doing a real serious cleanse.
oh yeah.
And I don't know if she means like a juice cleanse, because you could argue a juice cleanse or a juice fast, and people say that that's effective or not effective. It just depends who you listen to. They used to be really effective for me, and I don't know that, again, I don't know if it was the science or the psychology of it, or just the fact for 3 days or 7 days or whatever I did, I wasn't eating the crap. I was eating just what was on my cleanse, and that alone, I would think, would, not like I'm helping my organs that much, but getting to real food. So I would bet you whatever Space Buns is doing has a lot of real food involved in it.
Oh, I'm sure. And I know she wants to be healthier because in the gun community, you want to be able to, if you're doing competitions or you're doing, training of some kind, you want to be able to have that energy and that and be able to get out and do stuff.
Isn't that the truth?
So that's
You have
another.
to be on your game.
Absolutely. So I'm sure that probably, and then, again, she's had some health issues, so that's definitely. I commend her for doing that. I could never do that
You couldn't
because,
do a cleanse. You're doing a cleanse, Jen.
well, I'm doing it in a different way, I guess. But again, to me, when I think cleanse, I think you're limiting yourself to a few
Things.
things, like you're just drinking, kale every day or something. And it just seems to me it's limiting. And I will admit, I am not that dedicated into something. I want to be able to eat something. I want to be able to chew something.
Yeah. So you're talking. I see. I guess there's different types. There's people who eat nothing but fruits and vegetables for a while. They call that a cleanse. There's
Okay.
people who do the juice or the smoothie cleanses. I mean, you can Google cleanse. You can pay a company to deliver juice to your doorstep cold every day here in Houston for a week. And I've had friends do it. And it's interesting. It's really, I mean, going into it, as long as you have realistic expectations, if it's going to be liquid, you're absolutely going to see a few pounds drop off because you're just taking in liquids for a few days.
Hmm.
Solids move through you, and as
Right.
soon as you eat another solid, that's going to show back up a little bit. But again, when you go back to the way you used to eat, every time I did it, food tasted differently. I could
Mhm.
taste better. Foods like she's even saying like McDonald's was gross when she worked out, and suddenly when she's not working out and everything, it tastes pretty good.
Yeah.
You can change your taste buds, I think. I really think you can change them. So what you're doing is, I feel like, a different type of cleanse. You're just cleansing yourself of a lot of processed fake food
Yeah, I would
with what you're
definitely
choosing.
definitely agree with that. Again, and I don't eat out. I'm not going. I'm not saying I haven't. I did on Thursday. We went out, but I had a soup that was, other than the sodium content of it, was, it was vegetables, and I had shrimp in it. So, it was.
Yeah.
I would consider that much healthier than going and eating, a whole medium pizza. So, again,
Which
these
I've
are
been
the
known to
things I
do.
used to do. and I wondered why I was
Wow,
not
man.
mobile and feeling horrible, you know.
That's That is just fantastic, Jen. And now that you're 15 pounds down the road, 15 pounds, go pick up, like I told you, 3 bags of 5-pound potatoes in the grocery store. Everybody goes to the grocery store. Everybody walk over there and pick up 3-pound bag, 3 5-pound bags. And that's what you lost. That's not just water weight.
No,
There's no way. That's significant. So rock on,
thank
girlfriend.
you, thank
That
you.
is fantastic. So you and I are doing a weight loss challenge together too. That
Yes,
started.
yes.
It's a Facebook challenge, and we should post, and I'll post in the show notes what all we have to do because we get
Ooh.
points for these things. It's a 30-day challenge if you can do all these healthy habits, which anybody can do the healthy habits. But this seems to be what's helping me quite a bit this month. Let me tell people first what it is. You have to drink 64 ounces of water. You have to get at least 6 hours of sleep. You have to check in with a friend. We've been talking about that motivation. You need to take a vitamin every day. You need to get 2 cups of fruits or vegetables. You don't have to do all these things, but whatever you do, you get a point for. Exercise for 45 minutes, but that can be a walk if you just want to walk. I can't remember if there's anything else. No sugary treats. Is
Yeah,
that
no sugary
every
treats.
day?
Oh, what was the other? I've got the here. I got the spreadsheet. Oops. Yeah, no sugary treats, no bedtime snacks, so nothing like 2 hours before
Oh
bedtime.
yeah, we have to stop eating. That's
Yeah.
the hardest one for me to stop eating 2 hours before I'm going to go to bed. I didn't think that was going to be that hard, but I'm more of a snacker than I thought.
I used to be.
How's that? How's it affecting you? Are you finding it challenging? Are you finding it helpful? Are you finding it
I'm finding it
pretty
very
good?
helpful because the journaling aspect of it. You know, I put what I eat every day in the MyFitnessPal. Now, I'm not counting the calories or the carbs or the fat. I'm just putting in a general idea of what I've eaten. I look for an item, I pick it, I throw it in there. I don't really care what it says as far
Because
as the numbers are concerned. It's just so I can show what I've eaten and keep track
right,
of.
because we get a point for journaling
Yep.
somehow, for
Yep.
tracking somehow, right?
Yes. And then so that the not eating 2 hours or more before bed, because I used to do that, and then I would get horrible reflux when I was sleeping, which is one of the reasons
Oh,
I couldn't sleep very well for a while. I don't have that anymore. Well, I'm not drinking soda, which is helping, and
that's
also not
great.
eating before bed is helping. And then of course the exercise, which my exercise is limited because of the fact it's winter. It's just dark, or not too far away from dark when I get home, so I just don't have the time
Uh-huh.
to do the exercising during the week. But I definitely get it in, on the weekends. So, but I think just
You
overall,
make up
again,
for it on the weekend with all your.
I think just overall, the different things that we're doing and the fact that we are being accountable. And I don't know where you are in the standings, but I'm so far from anywhere near the top, but it doesn't matter to me. What matters is I'm doing what is healthy for me.
Right? That's the thing is there's 100 and something people doing this challenge, and Jack Templin, our other co-host to the show, he made the top 20 this
Oh,
week. I hate those men. They just drop weight as soon as
I,
they try.
I know.
I I shouldn't say that because Jack struggles and Jack's lost a lot of weight and been trying to keep it off for a year or so. I mean, he's the most obsessed man I know. But yeah, no, I'm not making the top 10 or anything like that. But it's exactly what you're saying. How did I do this week? How did I do? And every day there's just something, I'm sorry, but there's something about checking off the list that I drank all the water I was supposed to drink, that I got good sleep or not. It's just kind of putting a focus on what I'm supposed to be doing because I don't do all these things normally. I might do some of them and pat myself on the back that I'm doing some of them. And so to get together with a bunch of other people and say we're going to try to do all these things as much as we can. I lose points here and there. I don't get to bed in time, or I forget to
Mhm.
take the vitamin, or I eat too late, or something. But it's been fun to check in with you guys to be doing it with other people.
Oh,
And
absolutely. And the people that post on the Facebook page, you know, we all have our struggles. And I think this week a lot of people struggled.
yeah.
Some people gained, some people didn't lose anything or lost a very small amount. And
Well,
we
you're
all
in.
we all admitted it, and we're all like, what happened? And then we're all like, well, it's a new week. We'll just do what we're supposed to do, and just we'll see what happens.
You know what's interesting is um, I've been hearing now that the reminders out there that this is the week that people generally fall off the wagon that made New Year's resolutions.
Mm,
Everybody's gangbusters the first week, and then the second week people are still kind of going. And this is traditionally that third week in January is when a significant number of people just lose their motivation. And I find that fascinating because I have trouble being motivated all year round. I have reason the exact reason I do this show. If I didn't do this show, I don't know how I would be motivated. So I find it interesting because it is true. I got all excited January 1 because I'd had such a bad Christmas. I'd gained so much weight last year and more over Christmas that right January 1, we're starting the weight loss challenge. I'm going to do the whole thing. Jen's with me. I'm doing Jen's jaunt. I'm drinking all the water. And I did. I dropped some water weight. I'm sure it was inflammation and stuff,
mhm.
like 4 or 5 pounds there in the first week or two. And then it was just like 1 pound. And then this week, it was like zero point 0.4 pounds or
Yeah.
zero point 0.6 pounds. And I was like, wait a minute.
Yep.
I'm still working really hard. And you stop seeing those big, dramatic
Yep.
initial uh, results.
Yep. I noticed that in
Now,
Weight Watchers. The
uh-huh.
first couple weeks were huge because yeah, all of a sudden you're not eating all the stuff that you were, and
Yeah.
you're logging what you're eating, and then there would be a couple weeks of, and sometimes it was gains,
I know, even though you
and
did
then it would
everything
take
right.
off again. It was like your body was readjusting.
Either readjusting or they call it a plateau sometime
Mhm.
because your body's adjusting to what you're doing. And I've heard, and I am trying this, I've heard that I need to change it up. Like if I've kept my calories at a certain place
Mhm.
or I'm not eating carbs, throw some carbs in there, throw something different for one day because your body is really efficient and smart and will adjust to whatever you're doing.
Right.
So, or maybe I need to work out harder at the gym or something like that. A couple of people are telling you congrats over here in the comments, and I
Oh,
missed a few people, and I don't know how to scroll down. But I did see Spaceman said Jen can do anything she sets her mind to. Congrats on the 15 pounds, girl. You have
thanks,
such
Andrea.
wonderful support out there.
Oh, I really appreciate that. Oh, General Banter's out there. Thanks, Luke. Appreciate that.
Ah, cool. Oh, I figured out how to do it. Yeah, Luke, is that Luke General Banter?
Yeah, yeah.
What a cool name. He said cool. Hi. Okay. So we're probably going to wrap up, but I need to say that this is an unedited version of our podcast. We're on the Firearms Radio Network and we're primarily an audio show. So this comes out about a week later, but we're recording together on January 23rd. Is today the 23rd or the 24th?
24th.
Okay, on the 24th. And so the show notes will be out there when the audio posts, which is going to be, next weekend. And those will be at www.fat2fit with the number 2, fat2fithq.com/119, right? I think that's what
Yes,
we need.
119.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it says here.
Okay, good. But you can go to fat2fithq.com and see other shows, older shows, and click into any of those shows. And at the bottom of the show notes, there's links right into our MyFitnessPal community. And if you join our community, you don't have to. You can just go in and read and see what's going on and see different threads people open. But you will see Jen all over it.
Yeah, I'm doing a real good job of spamming. I think I almost have as many comments as you do.
There's no such thing. I couldn't be more thrilled. We have brand new people, and I suspect some of them are coming through you and your friends, and we want more of you and your friends. And then people who said that they'd listened for a long time and never really commented, and now they're commenting, yeah, I could try this. Because this, like I was saying, this third week in January, end of January, beginning of February, this is where we risk being those people who are just going to blow it off.
Yeah.
And not everyone blows it off. Some people push through and go, okay, like you said, I'm not going to blow it off. I'm going to keep going, even if I'm not seeing a huge loss this week. I just try something a little different, tweak it, or just keep doing what I know is the right thing.
Right.
So that's why I tell you, I can't thank you enough, because you're one of those infectious, inspiring people that I need and that we need to just, I'm telling you, I can't get through the day without checking to see what everybody said. If I might not be able to read all the comments, but usually you can. And, getting some motivation from that is a game changer.
Yeah. Well, and Hammer Jammer, we won't even begin to discuss the motivation that he provides. Love John.
I love John too. And I'm glad you brought up Hammer Jammer, because in October of 2015, a bunch of us, many not very athletic people, some are, Hammer Jammer's ex-military, and I'm sure we'll have some people super fit, but I'm going to be helping with the team that separates from them and walks. That's what I do every time we do these runs. I walk. And so in October, we're doing a Tough Mudder. OMG. That is going to be a blast. It's in Las Vegas, and people are coming from all over the country. We're going to meet for the first time, a bunch of people. And Jennifer Young, you have committed to doing it with us.
Oh. I will have my GoPro on my head.
Are you going to take the GoPro on the Tough Mudder?
Oh yeah. I will do it.
Oh my God. I think the fun we're going to have will border illegal. It's Vegas.
And I've never been to Las Vegas, so.
Oh, I can't even imagine it. I already have. There's so many people are already saying, you know what? I've never thought about doing one of these crazy things, but Vegas, and you have till October, and people see the video of the Tough Mudder and they're like, oh my God, I can't do that. Well, guess what? You don't have to do all that. They don't tell you that you can walk around something really, really scary. But when you get there, some of the things aren't that scary, or you just want to challenge yourself. Heck, man, it's 10 to 13 miles of a walk, and we do jog at the very beginning for a little bit. Just finishing the thing, even if you walked around every single obstacle, that's a challenge. So we have people, especially first timers, Jen, don't be scared, because first timers get to come just to see what it's like. You are not made to do anything.
See, and I was planning on just coming out to offer my support, and then like a week ago, and I haven't signed up yet officially, but yeah, a week ago I told John, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and then I asked you, am I insane? And I believe your words were something along the lines of, yes, you are, but congratulations.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who does it?
And then you asked if I would walk with you. I'm like, yeah. I will so not run.
Space Buzz is asking about the show and the show notes. And they're not going to be out till next week, but they are. And she does have it right there in the comments. It's F2FHQ, but it's all run together. F2FHQ.com, and then it's a slash, not a dash, a slash 119. So if you go to our, if you go look at 117, that's the show that's already out as of today, and another one's coming out tomorrow, 118. We're in this is our 119th episode. So yeah, you have between now and October, and Space Buns, you too, girl. We need you out there, and it's just a blast. We just get a huge group. And last time we did a big one, we did it in Tennessee, and people came from Ohio, and people came from, where is Stacy from? Stacy's from up on the Pacific Coast, Montana. We had people come from Texas. We had people come from Detroit. I mean, people just came in, and we went to dinner on the Friday night, and we were like all excited. And then this Saturday was the run, and Sunday people have a chance to go back home. And It's just a blast. It's just a blast. You will never feel more accomplished, and like you will when you finish it, and then you'll walk away going, "My God, if I could do that, what else can I do?" I mean, that's how. I know it sounds corny, but it is. It's great. Plus, it's just a blast.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Again, it's not something I've never done any kind of race, so it's gonna be challenging. It's gonna be awesome to be able to meet you and John and whoever else shows up out there. And
Carmen, she's already committed, and Arturo and Heron say they're coming to support us.
okay,
That doesn't sound like they're walking with us, so I think we need to
no,
give them a little bit of a hard time.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So, Spaceman says, thanks for bringing health to the front of our brains. Good night. Yes. I mean, thank you, Jen, for doing that, because that's what it's about, is just trying to keep it in mind. Not about perfection. It's about progress. And if I
Absolutely.
can, yeah, if we can keep it at the front of our minds, we do a few more healthy things than we might have done not otherwise, right?
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
I seriously, you're my hero. I can't believe you're doing the Tough Mudder with this. I cannot believe you're doing the Tough Mudder with this.
I can't either.
Oh,
I'm
God.
insane. I've lost my
Yeah.
mind.
If I can do it, you can do it.
All right.
All right, all right. Okay, so that's it. We're going to go. Anybody, again, the show notes are, if you're listening to the audio, the show notes are at F2FHQ.com/119. And please leave us a review in iTunes or Stitcher, or share or like the show. That's the best way you can help us, and we really appreciate everybody that's listening. Everybody like Kim and Deb Sue and everybody in the MyFitnessPal community. I saw Cynthia Crom on there a whole bunch the other day. All the guys, Kevin and Mark, and everybody that's in there, like Kristen. I can't name everybody now because there's so many people. So if I didn't name you, I'm sorry, but I appreciate you. Just like I appreciate you, Jen. Thank you so much for what you're bringing to the community. Don't ever leave us.
Well, thank you so much, and I had a lot of fun on the show. So thank you for inviting me and letting me ramble on about my weirdness.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding? You're the bomb, and I appreciate you doing this show too, because you never know who's listening to it, who's like, you know what, that makes sense. That makes more sense. Why don't I just try to figure it out for myself? Why don't I just try to eat less processed food and see how I feel? Or start a jaunt, start a
Start a
challenge.
jaunt. Start your own challenge.
Yeah. All right, Jen, thank you so much. I can't wait to talk to you over on the chat boards.
Thanks. I can't wait.
Okay, we'll talk again soon. Bye, girl. And bye, thanks to everybody who's watching.